Hello everyone, and welcome back! We are kicking things off and jumping straight into the action. Sorry about the delay, I'm having some internet trouble, so it took a bit to get this video out, but I hope that you all enjoy. Alright, so first thing after I jumped in, I went ahead and refreshed on what quests we had left to do, and kind of just getting my bearings before we started heading off, and found this person, who had our next quest for us, and wanted us to find a stranger that did not quite belong. So, that is exactly what we're going to do. I also had another quest in that area to do, so I eventually did find the person we were looking for, and honestly it wasn't that hard to bring them down. Just get a couple of range shots, send your pet in after them. They barely got like a few shots in on me the entire thing, and I did not realize at the time that my pockets were so full, so I grabbed the coins and, well, realized I couldn't carry the stuff. So I dropped the weaker bow that I had, so I could pick up our quest item. Which then started another quest. And then while we were there, we went ahead and tried to work on our next quest, which was to kill a bunch of these creatures. But after doing so, I realized again I didn't have any space in my inventory, so we needed to get rid of stuff. So we went into town, and our fastest way is to use our waystone, or heartstone, or whatever you call it, to get us back to the first gym we were at. However, it does take a long time to cast. And then we were back, and so while we were there, we turned in this quest and grabbed another. When he wanted us to bring him the head of somebody else. Then I found the cheese merchant and sold all of our excess stuff real quick, which got us a bunch of gold that we were going to need later in this episode. I got a lot done today. Then we found the person the guard wanted us to talk to, and by talk to, I mean kill. Which, it's really an easy quest. You just talk to him, he comes up here, and then you just ambush him. I was just messing with things while waiting for him, and then he doesn't put up that much of a fight, really. And overrun with your pets, it's quick work. And while I love the battle pets, they aren't doing much help since I am only on the free trial, so I went ahead and dismissed him. And while traveling, I found out how to rename our pet and renamed our serpent to Silver. And then we were back to destroy all of these creatures that we needed for another quest, which was, again, quick work, wasn't too difficult. Then it was simple enough to turn our two quests that we had from this lady, getting us some stuff that we could use, and leveling up. Which, level 9 is not a bad level, but level 10 would be great. And then we had another quest to do, so we had to cross the Dead Scar, which I tried to pass as much as possible because it is just teeming with enemies. But of course we had to make quick work of the ones in our paths because they will attack us on sight, as seen here. So, again, ranged is a really good option, or at least for my play, because it gives me a chance to be able to do more damage before they attack me, as long as they themselves are not ranged. Luckily, the dead scar is not that big, so it's pretty simple to cross. And then once across, it's a pretty straight shot to find the person we needed to talk to for our next quest. And then he wanted us to turn his apprentices into some creatures for misbehaving, which honestly is really fun. But before we did that, I wanted to go ahead and explore the city while we were here. Hold on. It'll work. You know, sometimes the quests get a little buggy with my internet, so it takes a minute for them to actually say, oh, you picked this one up already. But the home base for the Blood Elves is pretty extensive. It took a lot of exploring to find what I was looking for because I knew exactly what I wanted to do. I wanted to find some career options, the ways you can earn extra money along your travels. Took a bit of searching, but eventually I did find the, hold on, I got distracted by a rabbit. I did find the Skinner. Well, so I went ahead and grabbed their training, whatever they could offer, which wasn't much, but it was something. And yes, I did accept that as my first occupation, which will bring us some great stuff along the way. And while exploring, I stumbled upon this scene. Don't know what happened here, but I ain't gonna stick around to find out. So I was out of there pretty quickly. And then I did find a tradesman and was able to pick up a Skinner's knife just to make sure I had an extra one on hand. Pretty easy. I couldn't get an herbalist kit as I'm not able to do that yet. But I did find the leather armor as well and bought some pants from them just to boost our armor rating for our future endeavors. And just wandering around the city, found this amazing fountain, which I just love the details in this game. Yes, they may be older level, but that's okay. I did find the herbalist eventually. Took me another like 20 minutes of searching, and cause I like the herbalist options. I don't know, might not be the strongest occupation there is, but I thought it'd be fun. And then we just to save time, totally not because I was lost. I went ahead and used the Hearthstone to travel back to the inn again. And then we were out to turn in another quest, grab another who wants to speak to somebody, and start turning the apprentices into boars. It's just kind of fun. Doesn't really do anything to harm them, it just makes them angry and like, he says not this again as if this has happened before. Which makes sense because there's been a lot of players. Then we did find some silverleaf along the way, and got attacked by a spring paw. I forget what they're called. And then we could try out our skinning for the first time, but didn't do too well. Then we found the second apprentice and was able to turn him into a boar as well. And then we were quickly back to turn in that quest, which gave us another bag, which very useful, always need bags. Then we were back across the Dead Scar, went ahead and took out again before I started crossing, just to make sure it was a little bit safer. Along the way, we got attacked by another spring pot, and the guards tried to help. They tried to help at the last minute. And eventually, after the longest walk there has been this far, we made it to this next outpost, which had just the most amount of quests in one area. So I went ahead and grabbed all of them. This lady had 3 of them that she needed us to do. So, mostly it was to speak with a couple different people. And then there was 3 in here that needed us to do stuff. One is to report to another person. One is to deliver supplies back to the city. And then this guy, he wanted us to find another person. It was a lot of talking to people. Then we turned to this quest for this guy because we had talked to them, and we finally reached level 10, in which we can finally get a mount, because that will definitely help with our walking speed. He wanted us to kill 5 wretched thugs and 5 wretched hooligans, so that would be great. And then we were able to choose our expertise. Well, and so I decided to go for marksman after a lot of debate. I figured this would help more than anything, so that's what I went with. And for our 100 point, I went with to improve our kill shot, which we haven't used that much yet, but we'll use it more eventually. And then we had to talk to this person for the deliver the goods quest, and then he wanted us to hitch a ride all the way back to the city, which we would do in a minute. First, we had some more people we had to talk to, so we will come back in just a few moments. Because literally right behind us was this person who wanted us to talk to them. They had another quest for us, which was to talk to more people. And this person also wanted some pelts. And then we had to talk to this person for another person's quest. It's a lot of finding people. And then they also had a quest, and they wanted us to slay some more monsters. I've never seen the monsters they want us to slay, so we'll come back to that. So we were back, we hitched a ride on these wonderful creatures. I think they're so pretty. And so it's a pretty quick flight, much faster than walking. But the flying animation's really good. Like, just the views from up here is really, really pretty in my opinion. And it made travel a lot faster. And once again, we were back at the city. And I decided to bring out one of our mounts to make travel just a little bit faster since the city is so large. It wasn't long before we found the person we needed to talk to for the supply quest.
I have one of a kind items. He will have justice.
And then he also had a quest for us to go all the way back. But while we were here, I went ahead and bought us a fishing pole and all the fishing lessons this guy could give us, which is a lot. Like, look how many of these trainings he has, and they're all pretty cheap. And then finally, we were back on our merry way to talk to this guy and go all the way back to the other outpost. And we were back, and then we had to go talk to the lady again. I don't know why it froze up here, but pretty easy quest to turn in. Just a lot of walking, and then we went to go and get some pelts, but another person in the area was doing that quest as well, so I went ahead and walked to this building over here, which had a person we had to go talk to in. You know, let things respawn and, you know, be productive. But again, it's a lot of walking. I didn't feel like getting my mount out just for this. But eventually we did make our way over here, and we talked to Lord, however you want to pronounce his name. And he also had a quest for us to collect some specific things. We'll get to that eventually. But around his house we found some spring paws and got to work. And while we were out, I went ahead and decided to try and fill in our second pet spot. And well, I figured, why not this beauty of a creature? If anybody has any pet names they want to suggest for this guy, let me know. But I decided to bring Silver back out since she can only have one out at a time, and I like him. So, we were back to slaying Spring Paws for a bit. And while we were chasing Spring Paws, I found the area full of the wretched hooligans and thugs. So while we were hunting Spring Paws, I figured I'd take out a few, because I knew they would attack me anyway. So, no harm in working on another quest while doing another. Then I found an area of two people who also had quests for us, to bring them some more items, and to retrieve their shipments, which had gone lost. And then we're back to killing Spring Paws, because apparently this person needed a lot of pelts. But eventually we found some more plants as well, and was able to kill all the Spring Paws we needed, so we were back to killing the wretched hooligans and thugs to knock that one out of the park as well. But there was a lot of them in this area, which I guess makes sense. But while exploring, I noticed that there was a bunch of shiny boxes, and I figured that was for another quest, so while working on killing these, we would pick up all the boxes that we could. So, I knew there was more that I passed, but I wasn't going back for them at this moment. So we just slowly worked our way up the tower, collecting boxes as we went. And unfortunately, this is where we're going to have to end, because as I was working on slaying this guy and collecting the box, my internet decided to be all funky and stop working because there was a storm rolling in. As you can see, I'm trying to collect things and it's not working. So, I figured this was the best way to just take a break. Because apparently, WoW decided we were done for the day. So, I will see you all next time, and I hope you all will join me again for another adventure.